lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's practice is very simply yoga to unwind. It's very cold in the UK at the moment, and I noticed the other day that I was kind of holding myself. My shoulders were up to my ears and everything was so kind of tight and compressed. So I thought to kind of counteract that in a way, we're going to spend a little bit of time creating little pockets of space within the body, within the heart space, the hips, spine, rib cage, little pockets of space that enable us just to kind of let go and soften that a little bit more. So when you're ready, you're going to start in a child's pose. You don't really need anything specific for this practice, but if you want a couple of blocks, feel free to bring them in. And then we're going to start in a child's pose. So take your time to bring yourselves there. As I say, you can bring in anything extra you may need, a blanket underneath the knees maybe, a blanket in between your sit bones and your heels, a block for the forehead, whatever you want, bring it into the practice. Tailor the practice to suit how you feel today, to suit your needs. And coming into your child's pose, okay. So we're going to start to let the heart melt down towards the earth, separating the knees so the belly can rest in between the thighs. Allowing the shoulders to roll forward slightly. You might even have your arms down by your sides so you've got this rounding through the spine. Taking your time to simply let yourselves really sink into the mat. With every breath, we drop just that little bit more. Taking in only what we need and just leaving everything else behind. Gradually bring yourself to this place of quiet, calm. We might be checking in, noticing how our body is feeling, how our mind is feeling. And really allowing ourselves to indulge in this moment. Allowing any stress or tension to just wash away. And whilst we continue to let go of any stress or tension that may be kind of lingering here, notice what changes, notice how the body responds, how the breath responds. Maybe the breath gets longer over time, the body sinks that little bit more. Perhaps the mind quietens down here. And we can take our time, there's no need to rush. Spending a few more moments just arriving into our practice, arriving into our physical body, arriving into the breath. Let the breath be easy, be steady. And then from here, let's take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Taking your time as you inhale, maybe starting to rise the forehead away from the ground, lifting the heart slightly. You can push down through the hands to assist you here, and then as you rise up, just creating a little bit of space, and you're going to thread the right arm underneath the left. So you're going to reach right fingertips across to the left hand side. Let's carefully drop that right shoulder down. Keep your hips melting back towards your heels. And you might stretch the left fingertips towards the top of the mat. Beautiful. It's kind of this gentle twist for the upper body. You might get a stretch through the back of the right shoulder. Let the back of the right hand just rest into the ground. Maybe the fingertips curl into the center of the palm. Taking one more breath here. And a breath out. And then from here, you're going to slide that left hand in so it just comes in front of the face here. Push down through that left palm to unthread the right. Keep your sit bones back towards your heels. Lift the chest. And then you're going to take right elbow out towards the right hand side with the right hand coming to the back of the head. So taking, again, a little twist here, but this time twisting the torso round to the right. Take that right elbow as high to the sky as it wants to go. Take another breath. Exhale. Okay, and then we can let that right hand come all the way back down towards the mat. And let's change over onto the other side. So this time, threading the left arm underneath the right. Really stretching those left fingertips across to the right as far as they want to go. Carefully laying that left shoulder down, left side of the face down. And then stretching right fingertips to the top of the mat. One side might feel a little bit different compared to the other. That's okay. Where we feel the stretch might be different here. The intensity might feel different. And again, just one more breath here. One more exhale. Sliding the right hand back in so it comes out in front of the face. Let's push down through that right hand. Gently lift the chest, peel the upper body away from the mat. Left hand comes to the back of the head as you take that left elbow up to the sky. Keep pressing the hips back towards your heels, finding that twist. Beautiful. And as you arrive here, again, take another breath in. And a breath out. And letting that left hand float all the way back down towards the earth, okay? And then from here, you can walk the hands out in front, coming into a very brief little tabletop, and then we're going to tuck all 10 toes under. And then from here, walking the hands back, pushing down through the hands slightly so we can lift the knees away from the ground, then send the hips up to the sky, come into a forward fold, and you might be towards the back of the mat here. Taking your time to find that nice deep stretch through the backs of the legs. We've been curled up for quite some time here. Let the head hang heavy. You might take hold of opposite elbows, have that lovely little sway from side to side. Beautiful. And kind of similar to what we felt in our child's pose, with every breath, that sinking, that dropping. That same here. With every exhale, we let the crown of the head drip further down towards the ground. We imagine the spine getting longer and those pockets of space just appearing in between each vertebrae. Take a final breath in. Final breath out. And then inhale, letting the hands go, bending through the knees as we steadily roll up through the spine. Taking your time, literally imagining one vertebrae at a time stacking on top of the other. And as we come all the way up to standing, the head can be the final thing to lift. And maybe we take a nice big shoulder roll. Let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale as you squeeze them back behind you, lifting up through the heart space. And as you let the arms come back behind you here, let's actually interlace the fingertips at our lower spine. As we inhale, keeping the heart open, let's send the knuckles away. Beautiful. So again, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And if this doesn't feel comfortable here, you might want to just bring your hands to your lower spine. Squeeze the elbows together, start to drive the hips forwards. Beautiful. Wherever you are, take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let's release the hands. Circle the arms all the way out in front. You're going to cross one arm on top of the other. Doesn't matter which way around. And then take this nice little hug here. Okay. So trying to create the fingertips all the way around to reaching your shoulder blades. Maybe tucking the chin slightly towards the chest. Just have this little rock, this sway from side to side. Close the eyes maybe. Beautiful. Literally giving yourselves that comforting embrace here. Okay. You can let that sway, that rock slowly start to minimize. Don't feel as though you need to come to an abrupt stop. Loosen the grip with the fingertips, and then you're going to let the arms start to unwind slightly. And then you're going to come to take hold of opposite elbows. And then inhale, lift the arms to come just above the head here. So you've got this nice long line throughout the body, heart open. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we take a little lean over towards the left-hand side. Sending the breath to the right side of your rib cage. Beautiful. One more breath. One more exhale. Let's inhale to come all the way up through the center. Exhale. Lean to the right. Beautiful. And this time sending the breath to the left side of the rib cage. Notice the movement of the breath. How does it affect the stretch? One more breath in. One more breath out. Let's inhale to rise all the way back up. And then unraveling the arms. Let's stretch the arms up to the sky. Take a breath. Exhale, hinging at your hips, melting the heart forwards. Come back into that little forward fold. And then let's inhale to halfway lift, fingertips towards your shins, create space, find length. Exhale, fold back down. Bending through the knees, steadily bring the hands down to the ground. And you're going to walk the hands out in front to come to your downward facing dog. So the feet can stay exactly where they are. Walking the feet a little bit more towards the top of the mat, finding that upside down V shape. And then pressing the belly back towards the thigh, lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. And you can invite little bits of movement in here if you wish, a sway of the hips, bending in the knees. You might be lifting high up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale as you press the heels down, and the heels don't have to meet the mat here. Okay. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Let's stay grounded down through the left foot. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Doesn't need to lift so high here. Just take it up as high as it wants to go. Exhale, right knee comes in towards the chest. We might notice that little bit of heat building in the body here. Shifting the weight forwards and see if we can steadily step the right foot in between the hands. And if it needs a little bit of guidance, feel free to help it get there. Let's drop the left knee all the way down towards the earth, untucking those left toes, and when you're ready, let's rise up into a low lunge. But you're going to bring either hands towards your hips or maybe hands towards the lower spine here. Taking a moment just to arrive here, finding that foundation through the legs. Maybe there's a couple of wobbles happening here, just letting them kind of subside, finding that steadiness. Right knee stacked over the right ankle. Beautiful. And then maybe with the hands towards your lower spine, lifting up through the heart space, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Starting to maybe kind of glide the hips a little bit further forwards and down, but focusing on the tuck of the tailbone. And that's all it is. It's just this kind of gentle lift up through the heart space. It doesn't need to be kind of this deep lunge and really exposing the heart space. It's just this kind of subtle lift. Almost imagining someone's palm is pressed in between your shoulder blades, assisting that lifting up through the heart. Beautiful. Let's take another breath. And an exhale. Beautiful. From here, you're going to let the fingertips kind of trace up the sides of the body. As the fingertips trace up here, imagine they're kind of, again, creating space in between each rib cage. The spine is getting longer. And then we stretch the fingertips all the way up to the sky. And as you reach them up here, you might reach one arm that little bit higher. Then the other, adding that little sway. Each time we reach up, again, finding that little bit more length. You can look up to the sky if you wish. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then let's inhale to reach both arms up high. Exhale, twisting to the right. You're going to circle the right arm back, left arm forwards. Keep sinking into that right knee. Keep tucking the tailbone under. Again, if there's any wobbles, it's okay. That's just the body naturally trying to find the balance here. Beautiful. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then maybe right hand lowers to the back of the left leg, and we can sweep that left arm up to the sky, keeping the twist of the torso to the right. Taking one more breath in. One more breath out. And then from here, steadily, we're going to cartwheel the arms down. So left hand lands first. Right hand follows. It comes all the way up and over. And the right hand is going to land to the inside of that right leg. And you might wiggle right foot a little bit further out to the side, creating just a little bit more space for the hips to drop down towards the mat. And as you arrive here, maybe a little sway side to side. Again, it's almost like that little comforting rock as you imagine rocking a baby to sleep here. That's literally the same idea here. Encouraging this sense of comfort as we move through this practice today. If you want to come down a little bit further, you may want to drop down onto the elbows, but it's up to you. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then from here, we're going to bring right hand to the inside of the right knee. Push that right knee away from your chest. You might roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. Lift the heart up to the sky. Beautiful. Take another breath in. And a breath out. Beautiful. Gently pull that right knee back in. Right hand connects back towards the earth. And then from here, you're going to push down through the hands, lift up out of the hips slightly. And then you're going to kind of turn the upper body towards the right as the legs kind of go towards the left. So you might need to slide this right foot a little bit closer in, but start to walk your hands round towards the right. You're going to pivot on this left knee to swing the left ankle back behind you. Right shin is steadily going to come down to the ground as you send your sit bones down towards the left. We come to sit in cow face facing the right long edge of the mat. Okay, so you've got right leg crossed over the left. If I turn around to show you kind of what the legs are happening here, or what's happening with the legs. So you've got right leg on top of the left. If this doesn't work for you, feel free to extend the bottom leg. So we've got both sit bones rooting down towards the earth. So this is an option you can take here. Okay, I'm going to come back around, otherwise I'm going to get awfully confused with sides. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall here, again, both sit bones rooted down towards the earth. You might push your fingertips down and towards the mat to create that little lift through the chest, almost like you want to lift your rib cage away from your pelvis. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then as we inhale, you can stay exactly as you are, or maybe you reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend through the elbows and just see if you can take hold of opposite elbows here. So you've got this lovely long spine here, sit bones rooted down towards the mat. If there's any achiness or any tension arising through the spine here, it gets a little bit too much, just bring the arms back down. Okay, take it easy. One more breath in. One more breath out. Beautiful. Let's gently circle the arms all the way down, back down by our sides. Lean into the hands as you land. Unravel the legs. Step the feet a little bit further apart than your body. And then you're going to turn to face the back of the mat. So right shin comes down. And you're going to lengthen left leg back behind you. Okay, so we arrive in Pigeon Pose here. Beautiful. And we can use the structure of our bones to keep us lifted here, keeping the arms fully extended, or maybe we start to melt the heart forwards, coming down onto the forearms, or maybe even sliding the elbows out to the side, letting the heart sink that a little bit further. You might find that the forehead comes to rest on the back of the hands, but it's entirely up to you here. Come to a place that feels good for your body today. Don't feel as though you have to come to a place that feels uncomfortable and then stay there. You can always pick and choose. Choose what serves you, leave behind everything else. Finding that heaviness through the hips, and that little rock might creep back in here. That little comforting sway side to side, reminding us that everything is okay here. Everything is as it should be in this moment. Let's maybe stay for one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. And then from here, let's push down through the hands, rise back up. Take your time, no need to rush. And then removing any props that may be underneath this right hip. You're going to let the right hip come back down towards the mat. So again, you turn to face the long edge of the mat. Pull this left knee in, find the sit bones to the ground, and then let the soles of the feet come together. Let the knees come out to the side, okay? You might place a block underneath both knees here to kind of alleviate some of the pressure through the hips. Feel free to send the feet slightly further away. And then just sitting up nice and tall. You may bring the hands to the soles of the feet, working through a little self-massage if that's what you feel like you need today. You might sway side to side through the upper body. Take a breath. And maybe as you exhale, you start to fold forwards. Beautiful. So again, remembering this is your practice, so folding forwards doesn't feel good for you today and you'd rather be sitting up nice and tall, be my guest. This is one of those moments where we can really tune into the body, the breath, and move how you want to move. Thinking about where you're sending your breath here or where you feel the breath most. If we're folding forwards, maybe we feel the breath in the back body. A little rise of the shoulder blades as we fill up the lungs entirely. And then exhale, softening. Beautiful. Maybe one more breath here. And then exhale. As we inhale, rising back up if you're not there already. Gently taking your time. And then we're going to make our way back to the top of the mat. So you're going to bring the hands to the top of the mat. Let that left shin come forward. Lift the right knee up to the sky. And then this time you're going to lengthen the right leg back behind you to come into pigeon on the other side. So you've got the right leg back, left shin down towards the mat. We can keep the heart lifted. And same again, we can prop ourselves up underneath that left hip with a block or a cushion or a rolled up blanket, whatever it may be. And maybe we stay lifted, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, or maybe, again, we melt the heart forwards. One side might feel different compared to the other. And again, just notice what your experience is here. It won't be the same as anyone else's. It might not be the same as how it felt yesterday or the day before, whenever you were last on your mat. Beautiful. Checking in with what you're experiencing today in this moment. Beautiful. Letting each wave of the breath bring softness to the body, to the limbs, to the muscles. Even sending that softness to the connective tissues, the more rigid structures in the body. See if they can start to soften that a little bit more here. And taking one more breath in. One more breath out. And breathing in. Let's steadily rise back up, push down through the hands, take your time. And then from here, you might tuck the right toes under, walk that right knee in. And then with the toes tucked, push down through the ball of that right foot. You're going to lift that left shin, send the hips to the sky, left foot steps back next to the right. So we come back into our downward facing dog. As we come here for the second time, there might be a couple of differences in terms of how the body feels. Maybe you feel more open here, slightly stronger. Firmly connecting down through the hands and the feet. Beautiful. Take another breath in. And a breath out. And let's steadily make our way through the other side. As we breathe in, take the left leg to the sky, and then again, it doesn't need to be the highest it's ever gone, just lift it up as high as it wants to go. Exhale, beginning to drive that left knee in towards the chest, just that little bit of heat in the body here, and seeing how steadily we can step the left foot in between the hands. Let's drop the right knee down, untuck the right toes, and again, maybe you kind of walk the hands up the leg here as you come up to that low lunge. And same as on the other side, there might be a couple of wobbles as we rise up here. Take a moment to slide those shoulders down and away from the ears. Hands are either going to find your hips, or they might come around to the lower spine. Squeezing the elbows together. Just this little tiny lift above the heart space. So again, imagine someone's palm just lightly pressing in the center of your shoulder blades to encourage that openness here. Beautiful. So it doesn't need to be overly forced. Beautiful. Take another breath. And an exhale. And then from here, tracing the fingertips up the sides of the body. And again, imagining you're creating this space in between each rib. You might kind of caress the back of the neck as you reach the fingertips up. Growing taller, maybe gazing up to the sky, and maybe you reach one hand up a little bit further than the other. Swaying from side to side. Imagine you're reaching for something on the very top shelf and it takes all this stretch to get it. Beautiful. Okay. Take another breath. Take another exhale. Inhale to reach both arms up. Exhale, we're going to twist towards the left. Left arm circles back, right arm circles forwards. Beautiful. Trying to encourage the arms to be in line with one another as best as we can, finding that twist. Beautiful. And you can stay exactly as you are, or maybe left hand floats down to the back of the right thigh. Right fingertips sweep up to the sky, keeping that twist here. Beautiful. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then cartwheeling the arms down, right hand goes first. It carefully lands down towards the mat, and then the left hand can sweep up and over. And that left hand also lands to the inside of the left leg. And we can wriggle that left foot out to the side, creating more space for the hips to glide forwards and down. Beautiful. Okay. Taking a couple of breaths here. So exactly the same on the other side. If you wanted to come down onto the forearms, feel free to do so. But again, feel free to play. If you come down onto the forearms, you can stay there for a few moments, decide whether or not that feels okay, and maybe we come out of it again. We play with coming down, coming back up, find what works for you. Okay. And then wherever you are, keeping the right forearm or the right hand grounded, let's lift the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Push the left knee away, lift the heart to the sky, roll onto the outside edge of that left foot. Beautiful. Breathe here. Breath in. Breath out. And then carefully pulling that left knee back in, left foot lands, left hand lands, and then let's lift up out of the hips. Rising up through the heart space if it's not already. You might need to kind of wriggle or slide that left foot back. We're going to come into cow face on the other side. So this time the upper body, the hands are going to kind of walk around to the left, whilst the lower body, the hips go around to the right. So here we go, walking the hands round to the left. Swinging that right ankle round towards the right hand side, left shin gradually comes down towards the mat. We sink the sit bones down. Hey presto, we've turned to the left, long edge of the mat, and we're in our cow face on the other side. And if that transition was a little bit too confusing, just feel free to bring the sit bones down, cross left leg over the right, and there you are. Okay, so we don't need to overcomplicate things too much here. And same again, if this feels a little bit too much, like we're tying ourselves up in knots, feel free to release the bottom leg, the right leg, out in front. So both sit bones can connect down to the earth, and we can then lift up nice and tall. Okay, so wherever you are, and again, it doesn't need to be the same on each side. Sometimes, there's again these little differences here and there. And then when you're ready, let's root down through the fingertips, lift the rib cage away from the pelvis, grow tall, keep those shoulders away from the ears. If you're finding it a challenge again here to sit up nice and tall and you find you're kind of perhaps rocking back and it's difficult to send the heart up to the sky, again, maybe releasing the right leg, maybe slightly unraveling the top leg so it doesn't need to be wrapped around so tightly. Feel free to make adjustments that are going to help you here. Okay. And then when you're ready, stay here if you wish to, or maybe taking the arms up to the sky, bending into the elbows, and see if we can take hold of opposite elbows here. Beautiful, opening up through the heart space, lengthening through the spine. Keep sending the sit bones down towards the mat. And then it's just one more breath. One more exhale. And then gently we can release the hands all the way down back by our sides. And as the hands land again, let's lean into them to unravel the legs, stepping them a little bit wider than your body. You can have a couple of sways from side to side. And then we're going to find Pigeon Pose again at the back of the mat. So the left shin comes down first this time. We release the right leg back behind us. Now you can come into our pigeon exactly like we did previously, or maybe adding in a little something else. So you can keep the heart lifted, you can fold down towards the mat, or maybe we're going to thread right arm underneath the left. So this is going to take us into a slightly deeper stretch, and we're also adding in a twist here. So take care, if it doesn't feel good, don't feel as though you need to stay. So we thread the right arm underneath the left, we bring the right ear down towards the mat. We might stretch the left arm forwards. Beautiful. Okay. And let's see if we can be here for a few moments. Back of the right arm compress down towards the mat. And over time you might get little, almost like pins and needles sensation through the right fingertips, or maybe even the left toes. And if that's the case, that's okay. Just maybe give them a little wiggle. Beautiful. Noticing whether we're subconsciously holding on to any tension here. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let it all go. Beautiful. One more breath here. And exhale. Beautiful. And then we slide that left hand back in just in front of the face. Push down through the left hand to lift the chest, unthread the right, and just bring that right hand back down towards the mat. Okay. From here, we're going to let the left hip come back towards the mat. And then we're going to let this right leg kind of externally rotate, so right toes point up to the sky. And then we're also going to release left leg out towards the side. So we come into this wide-legged seat, okay? And this doesn't need to be the widest straddle you've ever done. Maybe we actually bring the legs in a little bit, take the pressure off. Wherever you are, let's encourage the toes and the knees to be pointing up to the sky. So if you notice the feet naturally roll in or they naturally turn out, let's see if we can send them straight up and keep the heels down towards the mat. If we have hypermobility in the knees, we might notice as we straighten the legs, the heels lift off. Let's keep them down towards the ground if we can. Okay, if we find it a challenge to sit up tall like so, maybe we have the hands slightly back behind us, and again there's this sense of lift, shoulders away from the ear, so you can be here. Take a breath. Or maybe as we exhale, we bring the hands out in front and we start to fold forwards. Even if we fold forwards just a couple of millimeters, maybe just a couple of degrees, that's okay. Or maybe we start to creep the fingertips a little bit further away and fold that a little bit further. Steadily make your way into a place that feels good. With every inhale, finding length through the spine. With every exhale, softening that little bit more. The elbows might touch down. You might even be able to really stretch the fingertips out in front. Maybe even the forehead touches down towards the mat. But let's focus on keeping the heart ever so slightly lifted. So as you fold here, it's like the sequence of events. We lead with the belly, chest, then chin. So the belly glides down towards the mat first of all, then the chest follows, then the chin. Beautiful. And then here, let's just take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Breath in, start to walk the hands back towards you, rising back up. Okay. You might need to bring the hands to the back of the knees, encourage the heels to slide on in. And again, you can sway the knees a couple of times from side to side. And then we're going to find that pigeon on the other side. So right shin down towards the ground. Left leg lengthens back behind you. Use the hands to help that lift up of the hips. You got that slight external rotation in the right leg, the right hip. Okay. And again, you can come to exactly the same pigeon pose of what you did before, keeping the heart lifted or letting the heart fold forwards. Or maybe we add this little twist. So this time it's going to be the left arm threading underneath the right. We carefully lower the left shoulder down towards the ground, left side of the face down towards the ground, and then stretch those right fingertips to the top of the mat. So you might find you kind of roll to the left-hand side. We're not rolling all the way down to the left, okay, so just making sure we're not kind of collapsing down here. We've still got the hips square, or as square as we can get them. Okay, beautiful. And here for a few more breaths. And then let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then let's slide that right hand back in front of the face. Push down through the right hand to lift the chest, unthread that left arm, let the left hand come down towards the mat. And then from here, instead of coming back to our down dog, let's actually let the right hip again come down towards the ground. And we're going to sweep the legs all the way out in front. Okay. And you can give the legs a little shake here. Shake the thighs, shake the calves, shake the ankles, let it all hang out. Okay. Beautiful. And then from here, let's bring the hands to the right knee first of all. Hug it in towards the chest. Maybe have a little rock, a little sway from side to side. Take a breath in. Breath out. And then letting that right sole of the foot come up to the inside of the left leg. Let that right knee float out towards the side. Left toes are still going to be pointing up to the sky here, so keeping that left leg fairly active here. As we inhale, lift up through the head and heart, grow tall. And it's the same as what I said before, leading with belly, chest and chin. Take an inhale. Exhale, belly, chest, then chin as you fold over that left leg. And you may bring the hands to take hold of the shin. You may even be able to take hold of the foot here or the toes, or maybe just bring the hands either side of that left leg. And take a moment to surrender here as you fold. Notice the length of the spine, the length of the left leg, how the breath travels up and down the leg, up and down the spine. Finding softness, creating space. Beautiful. And maybe taking one more breath in, one more breath out. Let's inhale to steadily walk the hands back towards us, rolling up through the spine. And then you're going to send that right hand back behind you. You're going to ground down through the left foot and the right shin. And then we push down through those parts to lift the hips up. Sweep that left arm back behind you. Take the hips to the sky. Take the heart to the sky. Beautiful. Stretch out through those left fingertips. One more inhale. And then as we exhale, carefully letting the hips drop down towards the mat. Beautiful. As you land here, you're going to lift that right knee back up to the sky. And then you may just keep the right foot flat down to the earth, or you may cross right leg over the left, okay? Similar to what we did in our cow face, but this time keeping the right foot flat down to the earth and the right knee pointed up to the sky. Let's again bring that right hand back behind us, use it as a kickstand for the spine, and then inhale, reaching the left arm up to the sky, grow tall. And as you exhale, lowering the left elbow down, and you might hook the left elbow on the outside edge of the right knee to gently guide you into a twist, or you might just opt to hug the thigh in towards the chest. Beautiful, gazing out towards the right hand side, or maybe turning to look back behind you past the right shoulder. Take another breath in and a breath out. Beautiful. As we inhale, let's gently unravel. And as you go, wrap the arms again around that right shin. Lift the foot away from the earth to squeeze that right knee into the chest. And then gently sending away. Beautiful. Let's come onto the other side, hugging the left knee in. Give it a little sway from side to side. And then letting the left sole of the foot come up to the inside of the right thigh. Left knee goes out to the side. Right leg is active. Keep those toes pointing up. Okay. And then take an inhale to grow tall. Finding that length. And then as you exhale, leading belly, chest, then chin as you fold. And again, that might mean we're about here. Maybe we're coming down that a little bit further. Go where feels best for you. And again, it might be hands to shin, to ankle, to toes, or to either side of that right leg. Beautiful. And sometimes just bringing the hands either side of the leg kind of gets rid of the need to pull the body further, pull the body or pull the chest closer towards the shin. Kind of lets all of that go so we can just allow ourselves to soften it into the fold rather than force it. Okay. Taking one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, let's gently walk the hands back in, roll up through the spine, and then you're going to ground down through the left shin, the right foot, and the left hand as it comes back behind us. And then you fly the hips up to the sky, lift up through the heart, sweep that right arm back behind you. Beautiful, nice big opening here. Take a deep breath. Exhale, we steadily let the hips come all the way back down. Beautiful. As the hips land, let's lift that left knee up to the sky, and you're gonna lift it away from the ground and cross left leg over the right. All the same options apply here, so you can keep that left foot to the left hand side or cross it over. It's up to you, depending on what feels better for your hips, depending how much space we have in the body today. And then when you're ready, left hand again comes back behind you. Inhale, right fingertips reach up to the sky, finding length. Exhale, either hooking the elbow to the outside of the knee, finding the twist, or maybe just opting to hug the thigh. So again, that takes away the issue or the need to push so harshly. We don't need to here. It's just that soft winding up of the body, so in a moment we can allow ourselves to really unwind. That's what it's all about today. Take a final breath and an exhale. Let's inhale to steadily come back through the center. Let's take hold of that left shin, draw it in towards the chest. And then stepping that left foot down, let's also pull the right knee in so we've got both feet flat down to the earth. Take a moment to notice where you are on your mat. You might need to have a little shimmy further forwards because we are going to be coming to lying down. Take a moment to reach the fingertips forwards. Take a breath. And then as we exhale, tucking the tailbone under, steadily rolling down through the spine, but taking your time. No need to rush. Gradually coming all the way down onto your back. And as you land here, the back of the head softly comes down, shoulder blades nestle underneath you. You might stretch the arms up and above behind the head for a nice big stretch, or maybe they float down and they might land upon the belly, the chest, or one hand to belly, one hand to chest. Beautiful. As you land here, land as softly as we can, letting yourselves melt into the mat and starting to set the scene for your Shavasana. So that might mean bringing some extra cozy layers of blankets, fluffy socks, maybe even a pillow for the head here. Feel free to get as cozy as you wish, and if there's any little niggles through the body we need to take a moment to move through, by all means, feel free to do just that. And then when you are ready, take your time to gradually find stillness. Stillness of the body, maybe even stillness in the mind, cultivating that sense of peace, calm, quiet. And nothing else matters here apart from you and your breath. Allowing ourselves to indulge in this time. How often is it that we really get the time to just breathe and be? So I invite you to use the time now to listen, observe, and just be. And then taking a deep breath in through the nose. Softly a sigh out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And final time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Taking our time as you welcome little bits of movement back into the body, fingertips, toes, wrists, ankles. Move in a way that feels comforting and natural too, so you may take a stretch. You may have a good old yawn here, or you might decide to curl yourselves up. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, left or right, and just gently roll to that one side. And gradually using your hands to help you as you rise all the way up, finding that comfortable seat. Take your time as you nestle the sit bones down in towards the mat. Sitting up nice and tall, let the palms of the hands rest upon the knees, slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. And let's seal our practice as always with the final blessing. May the sun bring you energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Thank you, YouTube yogis, for joining me for a little unwinding yoga practice. I hope you're feeling a little bit more spacious in both the body, mind, breath as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed your practice today. If you did, please feel free to leave me a little thumbs up, maybe even a little comment below, and also subscribe. And I'll be back next week with you with another free practice. All right, I hope to see you then. Mwah. Bye.